Um, we are 3 lines from the bottom of page Lamed Aleph. The line starts with what legabay hamhuz des esfiris. The oiros are without a defining element, blima, to the extent that they can actually be interchangeable. Of taking the oil that points to chesed and put it in a gevurah, and vice versa. Because relative to the kelim, they are totally undefined, and they can be interchanged.
Where did you say we're starting? The God.
4 lines from.
You're on the wrong page.
You said Lamed Aleph.
Aleph.
Oh, Aleph. No. Okay.
And the reason that the oiros, as we explained, ablima, do not have this limiting and defining factor, even though it's an oir and it has a message. The reason that it's not limited to that factor is due to the fact that the oir is in essence primarily pointing to its source. And its source is pshitus. It does not have a limiting definition. The oil is pointing to that source. As we discussed great length, that the principle of the oil is not what it is, but where it's coming from and what it represents. Although it is representing in the form of chesed and gevurah, nonetheless, its focus is on the source, and in the source, everything is contained together. Wanted to make a kind of a novel point in this regard. Coming back to our Mishalim, or being a guest in someone's home or at a chasana, and if the relationship there is not in terms of being recognized and given a place and given food, but the actual relationship to the host, then any place that is given, since this is given by the host, it is therefore, it has the entire principle of the host. It is bli gvul. It is not limited to the fact that it's given to this person or to that person. It is really unlimited, because it is the host that is represented in each place. Even though each place is a distinct place, but what is its primary significance? It is the fact that this is the host, the host place, and the host gave it to me. This is the most important. This is what it's about. Therefore, it doesn't have the limit of being this place and not that place. It actually represents the entire place, the entire reality of the host. And this is why the oilers are blima, not in and of themselves. The oilers, yes, indeed, like we say over here, every place has a distinct identity and is given to a distinct person. But this is not the focus. This is not the main aspect of this. The main aspect is who gave it, and therefore it's representing the giver, and therefore it is without limit. We spoke throughout the years the principle of ownership of property. We spoke about it yesterday, and we always make the point. I think now it will be very clear. What enables a human being, an individual human being, to actually have ownership of a piece of property in the world? He can't even grasp it. He can't even embrace it. He can't even touch it. What does it mean he has the ownership? And how can it be? And the explanation is, the answer is, the real owner remains the creator. And it's by the creator's decree that he owns this property. He does not own this property by ignoring the creator. He does it not relative to the creator. He owns this property in the world, in the creator's world. And the reason he's able to own it, truly own it, I said from top to bottom, is because the creator himself gives him that property. The definition of his owning it is identical with the definition of the creator owning it. The creator gave him his right to the property, the creator's right to this particular person.
So the property belongs to both?
No, the property on a fundamental level, it remains the creator's. I ask you, if you're a guest in somebody's home and he gives you a seat and you have the right to this seat, does that now exclude the owner, the host? How is it? Are you both owning this place, this place? How do you understand it?
I'm a guest. I don't own myself.
Excuse me?
I'm a guest. How could I own
Okay, but I cannot come and push you away from this place,
Okay.
right? So in what way what is your right to this place? Who underwrites? You know what the term underwrite means? Who underwrites your right to this place? It is the host. Therefore, you really own it, but not in ejection of the host. If you eject the host, then there is no ownership at all.
Is this ownership more like renting?
No, this is real ownership. No. This is real ownership. If you buy a piece of property, you have the right to dig into the ground. You have the right to destroy it. It would be stupid for you to do that, but you have the right to destroy it. And despite that, it remains real property. And in the long run, it is still the same property that was created by the Creator. As a matter of fact, this is why any property that you destroy over time will restore itself to its healthy state. because it's still owned by the real owner. It still has real chayes. This is a phenomenal meaning to understand that we acquire property not from no man's land, not from nowhere. We acquire property from the original maker, the one who facilitates the existence of property. He is the one who enables us to own this property. And the significance of the ownership is precisely that. This is why nobody can come and push you away. Like we say, they said the lions also have their turf. The lions don't own; they have to hold it onto it with their force. You don't have to hold on to the property; it's protected for you. But not if you reject the presence of the owner, of the original owner, of the creator. If you say, I'm getting this property from Hefker, then you are exposing yourself back to the same arena where the lion is fighting for his turf. Which is why the Pasuk says that if Eden Shalom stray away from Hashem, from Torah mitzvahs, they become fair prey for all the nations, for all the evil effects of the world. Because they're no longer in the godly reality; they are as the expression is, in no man's land. Okay, so let's go and continue. Okay, at the end of the line, 3 lines from the bottom, at the end of that line, Kelim Atzmo, yet the Kelim themselves, Einom Mishtanim or Mischalfi. The Kelim do not change and they are not interchangeable. The canal, the Moshel the Shama V'Hil, as we discussed earlier in the Moshel of Shama and Hillel and Shama and Hillel, they remain in their basic natural tendency. One is into gevurah and one is into chesed. Although they may be saying Shvat opposite of those qualities. That because of the effect of the oil, that they recognize the oil of the coming from their Rebbes, from a higher source.
From their Rebbe or from their, what did you say?
From their Rebbe, yeah, from their teacher. Yeah, as we explained over the last couple of days, and today very clearly, as we said, when the host assigns a seat to an individual person, is not the assignment. The value of the assignment is not that it was to him and not to somebody else. The value of the assignment is that the host, I gave it to him. Therefore, it is with the full infinite reality as it is by the host himself. He has the right to this seat, the same as the host himself has a right to this seat. It's not by pushing anybody else away. The host does not say it's mine, not yours. It is his throughout. So therefore, the chesed and the gevurah are also included in the same b'pshitus.
The achlifu aspect in there would be that it's conceivable that this seat could also be given to somebody else.
The achlifu duchtayu. Even the time is a little deeper than that. We said there is the chesed and there is the gevurah. The chesed says this is yours. The gevurah says this is not yours, not the other ones. So the chesed and gevurah. So when the seat is assigned to this person, it can be perceived from both angles equally. And this is yours and not yours. The host has assigned this seat to you because he felt you belong in this seat. Because you belong in this seat. And therefore it was given to you and not to you. There is the chesed and gevurah in the same breath. This is why, when it comes down to the lower level, it becomes chesed and gevurah, and it means like achlifu duchtayu. The chesed interchanges with the gevurah. The chesed says, what are you doing on this seat? It was given to me. It's not yours. It doesn't come from the perspective that's not yours. It's mine. It was given to me. You sense a difference. A different statement.
And the gevurah would come from the opposite.
The other aspect. And so we say that the kelim atzmon enem mishtanim. The kelim remain what they are. Oil does have this capacity of being interchanged. Why? Because oil is rooted in the infinite source, in the etz. Whereas kelim do not have that source. They enem mishtanim. And the reason is that at the end of the third line, the shoresh hakelim. Pardon me, the shoresh hakelim, the root, the base for the kelim, nimshuchu me'arshimu, is drawn from the rishim. Shehu shoresh koyach hagvul, which is, okay, these are very broad statements. We'll try to identify as much as possible. Shoresh koyach hagvul. This is the shoresh of the koyach hagvul, of the element of the gvul. Essentially, let's see if we can follow this. Essentially, the host in our moshel is inviting 100 people. He invited 100 people, but each person was invited individually. There is both. He invited 100 people because he encompasses all of them. And then he also issued an individual invitation to each one. This individual invitation to each one, what's the significance of that? He has a community. He goes into the shul. Gentlemen, you're only invited to my shelbrachs. Then he goes to each individual and gives him an invitation. What's the point of that? Shmuel, stay tuned. Okay?
100%.
What's the significance of that? You already invited everybody. You already gave a broad statement. You're all invited. You all belong to me. So why does he go and invite individually?
It expresses the gevurah aspect?
Yes. Yes, indeed. You, gentlemen, who's on the line over there? Please mute your phones if you want to talk.
The original invitation is the chesed aspect, the general invitation. And
the general invitation is representing the greatness of the host himself. Be'oyer. Yeah, about chesed and gevurah for the moment. Is the truth of his presence.
The individual invitation is the truth of your presence.
What's the point of this invitation, individual invitation? The invitation is, he says, this is from the koyach, this is from the Horshimu. What's the Rishimu? We spoke about Rishimu means if I, so to speak, absent my greatness. And I think of myself in terms of my relationship to the community. Not in terms of the all-encompassing reality. Then every individual in the community becomes an entity. And he has his own place. And if you do not invite him, you have not invited him. Even though it comes from the same source. Within this source there are these two completely different aspects. There's the oil that represents the host himself. And this is how the host thinks in terms of what's doing in my community. What are the people there? There he cannot think from a higher perspective. It's called the Rishimu, a Rishim of the total reality. And there is inyan from Gvul. Every individual is a place, is an entity unto himself.
So Rishima means the reality in sort of a condensed forms, or in the reality, but in an environment, in a worldly form. Is that the idea?
The reality where the source itself is hidden. And the Shema is a result of the tzimtzum.
This is the beginning of the creation.
Is in the initial first step of creation. And this is why in the Kelim there is not the element that Kelim are interchangeable, Chesed and Gevurah. Because they have exclusively what they are. In our motion of the host is not just inviting everybody, he's inviting every individual. And he relates to every individual. He appreciates every individual. Let's put it in an arena that we can identify with more this principle with greater clarity. A person has 100 children. They're all his children. They are all his children. But then also every individual is a child of his. As the expression is, every child out of 100 is a single child.
No, I want to
This is where the Kelim come from. And there, this individual cannot be interchanged with another one. This one has his place, this one has this place, this one has his place. Why? Because at that point, the source, the reality of the host himself is concealed. He's absenting himself. He's looking now in terms of the individuals in the community. They both are sourced in the same truth, in the same reality. But there is the Gilead and the Helen, the Tzimtzum, the Rishima. Okay. Okay. Which means that in the Rishima this is Koyach HaGvul. This is the Gvul element. The Koyach HaGvul. The ability to function on the Gvul. But since it is the ability to function in the Gvul, therefore there is but this defined element, this chesed and gevurah, this defined element that's in this case.
The chesed, though, is more representative of the reality of the host. In other words,
No, the host. It's a pshit. He has everything, chesed and gevurah.
when it comes down to the level of the aliens, then
then because individually chesed and individually
it's identified as either chesed or gevurah.
It's not the host. The chesed and gevurah both rooted in the same reality, same truth. Pshitus. Yes, sir. Okay? I hope. Have a great day.